What's up, guys? My name is Miles.
And my name is Fez.
And this is The Commodity. And today we're reacting to how the Philippines manages 7,641 islands.
Boom.
I almost said a bad word. Yeah. So this video was recommended to us by YouTube. Again, YouTube added with the recommendations. This video was not requested by anybody, unfortunately. And if it was, I'm sorry that we didn't see it, but YouTube did suggest it. I saw that for sure. So, with that being said, there is a link in our description. Why is your arm on my chair? I feel like I can't wiggle.
Well, you don't need to wiggle.
So,
Wiggle.
Again, with that being said, we need more suggestions. There is a link in our description to our Discord, and on said Discord, you can suggest videos in the video suggestion box.
You said that very weird.
So, guys, before we hop into this video, if you would go ahead and give us a thumbs up. It truly helps us out in getting these videos out to more people. Also, if you would go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell notification icon. That way you guys can stay informed on our future videos. And if you'd like to help support the channel even more and get an exclusive YouTube short shout out, click that join button down below. While you're down there, go in the comments section. Let us know where you're from. Are you from the Philippines? If so, what city, state? If you're not from the Philippines, let us know where you're from.
Also,
that's cool.
Tater tots or fries?
I'm tired of your games. Let's check this out.
Let's do it. But seriously, tater tots or fries?
What would you say?
Fries, 100% of the time.
What kind of fries? Because that's... And
any kind of fry. I pick a fry, any kind of fry over a tater tot.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Like, I mean, do I want a nasty, like, burnt to a crisp fry? No. But I mean, like, if it's like any like decent fast food fry or sit down fries, that. Lost all. Don't know what that
Sounded
was.
like you lost your soul for a second.
Your soul.
The Philippines is a complex archipelago nation in the northeast of Southeast Asia, made up of over 7,000 islands across an area that's probably larger than you think it is. This area is well known for having plenty of Spanish influences, but what were these islands like before the Spanish?
Taking it back to my heritage. I'm kidding, he's Mexican, not me.
I'm Spanish.
Furthermore, why was
and Mexican
is the archipelago so important? And how does the modern country integrate all 7,641 of its islands? First, let's understand Philippine geography for context. The modern Philippines can be easily divided into three island groups: Luzon, the Visayas, and Mindanao. Luzon as a region holds around 62 million people, while the island of Luzon by itself has a population of 53 million, alone making up more than half the country's population. Luzon is also home to what's known as Metro Manila, a megacity of 13 million made up of a collection of different smaller cities, including the capital Manila and the largest individual city, Quezon City.
Is this a big body of water?
It looks like private parts. Upside down.
That's a, like, to be in the middle of that island,
that'd be dope.
That's a really big body of water. And then this looks like a volcano.
That does. And it probably is.
That's a big volcano.
Well, look right above it.
Yeah. Are these volcanoes?
That's terrifying.
The city of Manila is the densest city in the world, with more than 43,000 people per square kilometer.
That is insane.
That's like 0.04 people per square meter.
Wow.
For context, Macau, the most densely populated territory in the world,
that is cool.
holds around 21,000 per square kilometer.
What city did you say?
Populated territory, 4 people per square meter. For context, Macau, the most densely populated territory in the world, holds around 21,000 per square kilometer. In fact, the second, third, and sixth densest cities in the world are also located within Metro Manila. Luzon as a whole is highly urbanized, with some of the country's biggest and most important deepwater ports, and accounts for nearly 2/3 of the country's GDP. As a region, Luzon is also associated with the islands of Mindoro and Palawan, together the Mimaropa region to the southwest, as well as the Bicol region to the southeast. Second are the Visayas.
Is this part of the Philippines?
Is that our future island?
Maybe.
Comprised primarily of Bohol, Cebu, Leyte, Negros, Panay, and Samar, though Palawan can also sometimes be included in this list. The peoples of these islands speak several different yet closely related Visayan or Bisayan dialects, and are also where Ferdinand Magellan first landed, and was later killed. Lastly, Mindanao is the southernmost cluster of islands, and its western portion remains predominantly Muslim to this day. Mindanao itself is the second largest island after Luzon, and is home to 26 million people, many of whom live in the largest city, Davao. Mindanao, however, is also one of the poorer areas of the country, making up only 17% of the national economy, largely supported by agriculture, fishing, and forestry. But before we can learn more about what this country is like and what challenges it has to deal with nowadays, first we have to... No, this is not an ad break, this video isn't sponsored. Okay, what I was going to say was, we must first ask, what was it like in the past? More specifically, what was it like before the Spanish arrived? These islands and these regions are essentially only one country because of, well, Spanish colonialism. Before the Spanish first arrived, however, the map was a lot more fractured.
So is this is what is current day Sabah, right?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious of why either Malaysia claims it or because it seems like the Philippine people believe it's y'all's, but if you look on Google Maps or anything else, it's Malaysia. Why is that? Like, was there
not in an argument?
No. I'm out of curiosity more than anything.
Yeah, out of curiosity. Well, the Philippines said, or some Filipino commenters have said that Borneo Island, you said Sabah.
The state.
Oh yeah, they said.
I don't think they claimed the whole entire island.
Oh, well, yeah. So we've had commenters from the Philippines say that that's ours. That's our land. It was stolen from us, sincerely, without any like arguments or anything in the comments.
Like, was there a war that was lost and they took over, or is it just like, because for something to belong to somebody, people have to acknowledge it.
Right.
Without the acknowledgement, then it doesn't really matter either way. So that's why I'm it's just curiosity. If there's a video out there explaining it, link it down in our Discord. Link is in the description.
Yeah, that question's not to
I'm not trying to start anything at all.
Yeah.
It's just the one thing that we always see in the comments whenever we do something with Sabah, or especially Kota Kinabalu or anything like that. So let us know.
Yeah.
The first credible written record in the Philippines, written in a mixture of Old Javanese, Old Malay, and Sanskrit, dates back to around AD 900. However, the Philippine cultures also developed their own writing system from the 14th through 16th centuries, in Abugida known as Baybayin. I very briefly mentioned it in my video on why India and also Southeast Asia have so many writing systems, but Baybayin is part of the Brahmic family of writing systems, a descendant of Kawi, which itself descended from Brahmi, which may or may not, it's still very disputed, descend from Aramaic, itself sharing a common ancestor with scripts including Latin, Cyrillic, and Arabic. Phoenician. Back in those days, the islands were home to a whole host of different polities. While certain areas were often controlled by outside powers like the Brunei Sultanate, it was also home to small polities like Ma'i and Tondo. These states often adopted a form of government known as barangay, as small polities anywhere in size from small communities to city-states. Rulers took one of many different titles depending on their region, from sultans in Islamized areas to rajas where there had been extensive contact with Malaysia and Indonesia, to lakans among the Tagalogs. Interestingly, barangays are still a thing in the modern Philippines as well, though these centuries they form the smallest administrative divisions in the country. Just below municipalities, themselves just below the... Wait, hang on. Alright, I want you all to guess this right now. Does the Philippines have states or provinces? Vote now.
Provinces. No. Yeah, provinces.
On your phones? Provinces. The answer is provinces. As if to show just how diverse they have always been, The Philippines can be divided into 134 ethno-linguistic groups, with 135 languages native to the country, the 135th being the national language Filipino, an official variety of the Tagalog language, co-official in government alongside English. I guess it's a little
That
like
was a
how
weird
Indian
flag.
language, co-official in government alongside English.
What in the world? It looks American, British, Swiss,
Yeah.
Australian.
Yeah.
That's an insane flag. I like it. I think it looks super cool. It's just very busy.
Yeah. If all of our countries were to like
Join
mate,
together. That's our flag. I'm down.
That's our
I
flag,
guess
baby.
it's a little like how Indonesia's national language, also to unite a group speaking hundreds of native languages across a diverse archipelago nation, is a Malay-based dialect called Indonesian. With English being an official language alongside Filipino and thus being a mandatory subject in school, while Spanish has no longer been required for decades
España.
now,
Wow.
the Philippines technically has the fourth largest population of English speakers in the world,
Huh.
with
That's
over
really cool.
30,000 native speakers and around 90 million speakers in total. The Philippines is one of the very few countries in Asia to have Christianity as its major religion.
Catholic
I probably
Church.
don't need to tell you this, because colonialism. Before they were taken over by the Spanish, though, the Philippines were largely Islamic and Hindu.
You know what's funny though, is when I was visiting Spain, a lot of the old Catholic churches had been turned into other Christian based. Like I visited a Baptist church, but it was like the building was so old.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally a Catholic church. I was like, that's crazy because a lot of the symbolism
Right.
the was built into the church, so it's really really cool to see like the Catholic markings
Yeah.
on the church, but it being vastly different version of Christianity. It's really cool.
Right.
Hindu before that, and early folk beliefs before that, and part of Pangaea before that. Back in the 14th
Part of
century,
Pangaea.
an explorer
Going
named
way
Abdul
back.
Karim left his province of Malacca, bringing Islam to the Philippines. He converted the Hindu king Raja Baginda of the Sultanate of Sulu to Islam. No Star Trek fans, that is not a coincidence. And then marrying his daughter, just for good measure.
Wow.
Islam became increasingly popular after this conversion, following an inflow of Muslim traders from the Middle East, Malaysia, and India. Today, the oldest mosque in the country is named after him. But just 140 years later, another influential guy would show up in the Philippines. His name was Ferdinand Magellan. When it comes to colonialism,
Where's your gold at? No, that's not Magellan's gold.
No.
It's
Starts with an M.
yeah. Marcos.
Marcos.
the Philippines is sort of like a reverse Thailand. When Magellan came to the islands in 1521, he claimed the archipelago for the Spanish crown, naming it after his friend Phil. Then he was shot by an arrow and fatally killed on the island of Mactan. 3 further expeditions were sent, all ending in disaster, with Miguel Lopez de Legazpi establishing the first Spanish settlement on the islands in Cebu in 1565, and Manila 6 years later. Alongside the soldiers, however, also came missionaries, with the aim of converting the local population to Roman Catholicism, a mission which nowadays seems to have been about 82.9 to 85% successful, with of course the notable exception of the Muslim sultanates of Mindanao and Sulu. Then, to very briefly summarize things, there were a series of revolts throughout the 19th century, which were all brutally suppressed until the rebels started to gain the upper hand. At which point the US, also fighting a war with Spain, basically said, "Hey guys, y'all want some help fighting the Spanish in exchange for another 50 years of foreign rule?" Traveling between the islands, both historically and in modern times, is primarily done by... Well, you're looking at the map. How do you think they get between the islands? The Rocinante? Aside from any cheap Cebu Pacific flights, there also exist a series of privately and publicly run ferries.
That's one thing we haven't searched, is what it would cost to fly to the Philippines.
That's true. We need to do that.
Like, what if the flight to the Philippines is only like $600?
I promise you it's not.
Oh, I know it's not.
I promise you that.
But the flights to Malaysia were like $1,300.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
what if we could go to the Philippines round trip for $803?
what if?
Who knows? I'm gonna Google
Many
that
of these
after.
ferries might also serve the Philippine Nautical Highway System.
That could be our
also
first
called
trip.
the Road
Yeah.
Roll-On Roll-Off Terminal, or RoRo system.
Especially at that
A
price.
series of 3 different integrated highway and ferry routes forming the backbone of the national transport system. Navigating within islands can also be difficult though, as these tropical volcanic islands are incredibly mountainous and extremely forested. Now, you remember how I talked about how dense Metro Manila can be?
Yeah.
Turns out that also applies to cars, as Manila is infamous for its traffic. Who'd have thought the densest city in the world wouldn't be a good place
I'd
for
be
the
on
least
a
density-friendly
scooter.
form of urban transport imaginable? According to the TomTom Traffic Index, as of 2019, just so we don't have
Is
to
that a
account for
jeepney?
COVID lockdowns,
Something like it.
I mean, it would be considered a jeepney, I would
Okay.
imagine. I mean,
it
it's
doesn't
not
look like a traditional Jeep.
Well,
on the
no,
front.
it's like a. It's like a.
No, that's a Jeep.
Is it?
That's like an 80s Jeep. Early
the
90s.
TomTom Traffic Index, as of 2019, just so we don't have to account for COVID lockdowns, Manila was ranked the 2nd most congested city in the world,
Wow.
scoring 71%, meaning a trip from point A to point B took on average 71% longer than it would have without
I wonder
congestion.
what number 1 is.
It also doesn't help how
Probably
little
like
the city's
Tokyo.
public transport truly serves the demand it receives, with long waits for the MRT or LRT not unheard of. Thus, it is clear that Manila needs help with its mass transit woes. Not you, Elon. In addition, however, with them literally lying on their own tectonic plate, the Philippines is often subject to intense earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. I swear, I'm not the only one noticing parallels between the Philippines and Indonesia, am I? The 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo in particular required more
insane.
than 20,000 be evacuated. Combine this with the increasingly frequent and violent typhoons due to man-made climate change, and the struggle of keeping up well-functioning infrastructure becomes more and more apparent. Even with all these geographical challenges to contend with though, the Philippines is still one of the most important countries in the Asia-Pacific region, even if they're routinely forgotten about through what I like to call the New Zealand effect.
Is that a thing? That's kind of like true though.
Right?
I mean, starting out this YouTube channel, I could probably point out the Philippines a lot faster than I could have Malaysia.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But I would have still got it wrong.
Yeah.
But now I know I could go up to a map and be like, this is the Philippines, this is Malaysia, this is Indonesia.
Right. But that makes a lot of sense. The New Zealand effect.
Yeah.
Because who thinks of New Zealand?
As-
I mean, we do now.
Yeah.
But
To
not
be
before
fair,
this
like
channel.
before this, I mean, it was one of those places that I wanted to visit.
I mean, we knew of them. We knew their what's it called? The
All Blacks.
no, the tribal. Yeah, the dance. It's not a
The
dance. It's a
haka.
performance.
It's a war. It's
Like a
to
war
it's
chant
to
or
yeah
war.
it's to scare the enemies.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah, the haka.
The haka.
Yeah, and I knew about the All Blacks. I guess for me, like, I don't know why, I've always had a thing for the Kiwis.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because it's a very unique little country.
I've always had a thing for Filipinos.
Yeah. Okay, that's fascinating. But guys, actually, I enjoyed this video.
I did too. This was much better than yesterday's.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this video.
Yeah.
He did a great job illustrating it, and then also like
Look at
kind of
his
giving
name.
you a funny break.
Cannabis. Right up your
Well,
alley.
Anubis.
Oh, KH Anubis.
Yeah, Anubis is I believe it was a king in
And that's why it's
ancient
things a
Egypt.
king.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It was
But
a good
anyways,
video.
guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It helps us get it to more people.
Yes.
If you want to see our future videos, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. And if you want to support us directly, hit that join button. And with that being said,
My name is Miles.
and my name is Fez.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Peace.
Out.